young and the restless, Cain tricks Phyllis. Epic blindside ahead. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. For the young and the restless latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. The atmosphere inside Grand Phoenix Hotel felt different that morning. Eerily silent despite the usual bustle. Staff members whispered in hushed tones and exchanged curious glances, sensing that something big was brewing. In the center of the storm stood Phyllis Summers, impeccably dressed as always, fiery confidence in her eyes. She had no idea that she was walking into one of the most clever traps ever set in Genoa City. And the person pulling the strings? Cain Ashby, someone she'd once believed was predictable and easy to manipulate. But she was about to learn that Cain had been playing a much deeper game all along. Over the past few weeks, Phyllis believed she had secured leverage over Cain that would help her in her ongoing battle for complete control of the hotel and the thriving tech platform she was expanding. What she didn't know was that Cain had slowly and strategically led her into a web of misinformation. He allowed Phyllis to think she had incriminating evidence against him. Documents, voice recordings, secret dealings. In reality, every piece was carefully planted by Cain, part of a larger plan to expose her tactics to the board of the newly formed Chancellor Winters Alliance. The master plan begins. It all started 3 months earlier when Cain noticed Phyllis taking suspicious interest in the internal movement of shares within Chancellor Winters Corporation. She casually slipped questions during a charity event, hinting she knew about his quietly planned re-entry into the company's structure. At key first, Cain played along. He presented a neutral, even slightly defeated attitude, making Phyllis believe she had gained the upper hand. But in private, Cain had already begun building alliances with Jill Abbott, collecting communication logs indirectly linked to Phyllis, and hiring a cyber investigator to trace Phyllis's shadow interactions through hacked access points she thought were undetectable. He waited. Carefully, quietly. He knew Phyllis well. Her strength was her ambition, but her weakness was her impatience. At some point, she'd try to strike early. Phyllis moves first, or so she thinks. The push came during a sleek shareholders conference in mid-October. Phyllis scheduled a discreet meeting with Cain in her private office above the hotel lounge. She presented what she believed was hard evidence of Cain's interference with the Abbott Chancellor Trust Fund transfers. She leaned forward confidently and said, "You either cooperate now, or I pull the trigger. And trust me, when I do, you won't see it coming." Cain smiled gently. "Come," almost amused. "Phyllis," he responded slowly, "sometimes the thing you believe is your biggest advantage is actually your downfall." Phyllis frowned. She didn't like being spoken to in riddles, but instead of responding, Cain simply rose, buttoned his blazer slowly, and left without another word. Phyllis watched him exit with growing suspicion. For the first time, she felt uneasy the blind side. A week later, Phyllis received a formal notice from the Chancellor Winters board, summoning her to an urgent review meeting. She fully expected Cain to be dismantled in front of everyone. This, she thought, would be the final move to push him out of Genoa City business dynamics for good. She arrived bold, powerful. She stood tall in a fitted black suit, ready for victory. But the moment she entered the boardroom, her confidence wavered. Inside were Jill Abbott, stone-faced, Devin Hamilton, intensely focused, Billy Abbott, visibly uncomfortable, Amanda Sinclair, looking sharply prepared, and Cain, standing with a stack of files, his posture confident. Phyllis tried to read the room. Something felt very wrong. The meeting began. Jill opened the discussion bluntly. "Phyllis, we understand you've expressed concerns regarding Cain's involvement with company funds. You claim to have documented proof." Phyllis nodded confidently and placed her documents at the center. Cain stepped forward. He didn't even look at her before saying calmly, "And I'd like to show everyone the full picture." He pulled out a file marked Decoy Project, deep recovery logs, and slid it toward the group. Phyllis's heart skipped. Cain continued, "Phyllis, you believed you found financial discrepancies. What you don't know is those accounts were part of a controlled risk simulation authorized 6 months ago, initiated by Jill and me. Gasps filled the room. Billy suddenly looked up. I said, "Wait, Phyllis, thought she caught you, but you set the whole thing up." Kane nodded slowly, "Yes, and her methods in discovering." He turned the next slide on the projector. Logs appeared showing Phyllis's unauthorized system access attempts using masked locations. Phyllis froze. Exposure silence spread slowly. Jill leaned forward as Devin widened his eyes. "Devin, this shows you accessed internal files without clearance, Phyllis. Multiple times. Amanda, some of these timestamps align with restricted sessions. That's grounds for formal review." Phyllis tried to respond. "I only accessed what I believed was a risk to the company," but Kane replied sharply. "You didn't protect the company, Phyllis. You tried to gain advantage through covert manipulation. I simply let you find what I wanted you to find." And then came the final strike. Kane opened a recorded video, timestamped 2 nights before, Phyllis speaking in her suite to a contact, admitting she planned to use the information to pressure the board into recognizing her as a senior equity partner. Billy whispered she said it herself. Phyllis felt shock creeping under her skin. The flawless narrative she constructed was collapsing. In front of everyone, Phyllis loses control for the first time. Phyllis didn't know what to say. Her authority drained. She tried to salvage it. "I was trying to protect my interests," but Jill cut her off coldly. "Phyllis, your interests have always been yours alone. You play aggressively, but this time you crossed into espionage." Devin looked hurt. Billy avoided eye contact. Kane stayed silent, letting the board do the dismantling. Finally, Jill announced, "Effective immediately, we are suspending your consulting privileges with the company pending further investigation. You may retain hotel ownership, but all access to company systems and partnership discussions is revoked." Phyllis stared at Kane, eyes blazing. He simply replied, "Next time. Phyllis, if you think you're 2 steps ahead, make sure the other person hasn't already run the full game." He walked out without turning back. Aftermath and hidden agenda that night. Phyllis sat alone in her office, staring at the skyline. She replayed the scene over and over. She wasn't just defeated, she'd been outsmarted. But when everyone thought she'd surrender, her lips curled into a slow, cold smile. "You got me, Kane," she whispered. But nobody outplays Phyllis Summers twice. She opened her laptop. A new plan began forming. A counterstrike, deeper, more sophisticated. But this time, no digital traces. Meanwhile, Kane returned to Chancellor Winter's headquarters. Devin greeted him. "You handled that cleanly. But what makes you think she won't retaliate?" Kane turned to him. "She will. And I'm counting on it." Devin frowned, while Kane smirked. Because this wasn't about winning. It was about exposing where her weakness lies. Phyllis leads with emotion, and emotion is predictable. I'll be ready.